Yeah, it's Cash. Get him. DJ Deuce McGuire, this hot as a log fire. Spark the lighter in the 303. We wrestle at the quarry. Golden, Colorado. Mercury Pro Wrestling Academy. Elevated wrestling. Yeah. Hashtag follow if you know the motto. Can't stop now. Got the need for speed. Combustion and concussion. Championships in my vision. I put the key in the ignition. Such an easy decision. I got a hustler's ambition. Wrestling at its best. Welcome to the show I put on for Rocky Mountain Pro. Let's go.
All right, RMP Radio is on the air. I am your host, Mr. Fourth Row, and on this episode with me, I have Curtis Cole. Curtis, how are you doing?
I'm a little sore, but otherwise I feel pretty good. Thank you for having me back on the show.
Yeah, no problem. So if you want, we want to kind of date this episode a little bit. We're recording the day after Shocktober, and man, what a fracking great show that was.
Thank you. Yeah,
it was crazy.
Top to bottom, I'm tremendous. I watched it earlier. I'm super happy with the way the whole show went. You know, sometimes there's a really good match here or there or whatever, but we really put all of our eggs in a basket for that show, and just some of us were watching backstage and just cheering like we were fans, like we were just so into every match. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean everything, and I put out there on the interwebs, on the social media, that even though I was in attendance, I need to go and buy it, on Fite just to watch it again because it was that damn good.
My goodness, thank you. You're awesome.
So I'm going to tell everybody listening to this, even if you were there, buy it again. Cheap plug. So buy it to watch it, and lifetime replay. So you can't beat that.
You're a good friend, dude.
All right, so like we do on RMP Radio, we kind of a little more free-flowing, kind of get to know the person behind the wrestler, and Curtis is a big comic book fan. What comics do you like? What did you like growing up? Are you kind of into anything right now that people should maybe keep their eye on, or that kind of stuff?
Growing up, I was really into DC comics. Like the Green Lantern was always my big guy. Really liked him, and like obvious Batman, Superman stuff. Right now I'm blowing through these books called Cerebus. It started in 1983, I think. And this one guy writes it. And it's about this he's an aardvark, but he interacts with humans, kind of like BoJack Horseman,
Okay.
And it's from him in his youth all the way to when he dies as an old man. And it took the guy like 25 fucking years to write this thing. But all of the copies are insanely hard to find. And they're expensive as hell. So I've just been kind of plugging through those. And there's a nice comic book store across the street from my house. So I'll just go buy a random one. I think the last one I bought was like a Deathstroke like book, which ended up being garbage. But that's how it goes sometimes.
Okay, well, I'm kind of actually curious about this. Was it Cerebus? Did you say it was called?
Yes, sir.
So 25 years this guy was writing this. How many books?
Yeah. Every week every month he released one.
Oh my god!
And now there's a ton of them, and the continuity is amazing. Like it, he's the caretaker of the comic book, and he doesn't let anybody else do it. So it's meticulous, and there's good callbacks. And it's one of those things where how a character will react because it's written so well that I just understand how he actually thinks.
Oh wow,
it's awesome.
Was this the guy that created it? Was it self-published, or did he go to a big publisher? Or
yeah, eventually big publisher. His name is Dave Sim.
Okay.
And then eventually he got help from a guy named Gerhardt. I have no clue what his last name is. That's just what he calls himself. And all the comics are black and white, and the art style's changed over the years here and there. But yeah, it's just, as far as I know, he just did it himself. Some dude from Canada. He's a badass.
Oh wow.
What are you reading right now?
I am kind of doing a little bit of this and that. I've kind of lot of the newer iterations of TMNT, so I've kind of caught a little bit of those. Trying to catch into those. Fairly busy, so I'm trying to get time to actually sit down and actually read sometimes.
Yep. No, you're preaching to the choir, dude.
So I'm doing a little bit of that, and then I always will go to Free Comic Book Day and try to hit like 2 or 3 and get a couple of those, get some of my favorites and stuff like that. Mine is very, very focused, so I've got a very, very small. Mine fit like in 2 or 3 boxes, so so it's not too big, and wanted to overtake my house. I got friends that he bought a house, and his whole room he created shelving and stuff, built-in shelving for the long boxes and stuff. So those
have to be the strongest shelves ever created.
I know. I went to his housewarming party, and I was like, dude, wow.
That's awesome.
That's being dedicated to it. And it's it's his art room too. So he does his whatever he likes to. He's learning to draw. He's teaching himself to draw, so that's part of it too. So,
don't you just get envious of people like that, where they have like 30 different things they're into, and they have separate rooms for it, and you're just like, oh, damn it! Like, I'm just focusing on trying to go to the gym like constantly, and you're working on 30 different things, you prick.
Yeah, exactly. That's
awesome.
No kidding. So yeah, that's cool. So another thing, I talked to your tag team partner, Matt Yaden, a few weeks ago about the faces versus heels type thing, and currently you are on a major heel run in RMP, and what's your philosophy about that? What do you like about doing that versus playing a face?
Boy. Being a heel, but I guess besides the obvious, it's fun to chase your vices and to be a dick. But being a face is pretty hard.
Yeah.
Because being a heel, you can make anybody hate you. All you got to do is grab your crotch and give them the finger.
Yeah.
But being a face, like, you have to convince people to like you, and then you have to keep them liking you. Kind of like what's going on with Seth Rollins right now.
Yeah.
He's the biggest face in WWE, and he made one wrong move on social media here, so for a week people hate him.
Right.
Or he's not over with this thing, or he changes his character slightly. Like, I don't know if people have noticed recently, but he's a lot more like he's feeling a little more scripted, like, every week. He reminds me of like John Cena at his peak,
Right.
But I never thought of Seth Rollins like that, and ironically, people can't stand it right now. And that's what kind of sucks about being a face, is like, you got to do everything right.
Yeah, true. And I was going to ask you another thing too about, what you like, also pulling fans out of the audience and using them as stair steps to the ring too.
I'd like to take this time to apologize to you for any ill treatment I've ever given.
No, it's fine. I loved it. You got quite a few of us RMP faithful with that move.
It's because I know I can count on you. Like, oh, thank God, there he is. Okay, hey, I know that you're gonna get this, dude. I did this. And people listening, if you don't know what he's talking about, I make people get on their hands and knees and uses them as like a step stool to get in the ring. And anytime I see Mr. Fourth Row, I go directly to him, because I know that he is just going to go along with it. I did it to this guy. He was visiting from France. He was visiting Denver, and he had a free night. He heard about our show, so he just went. And he was sitting next to some of our trainees, so I thought he was with them. I thought they were friends.
Huh?
So I grabbed him and threw him down, and I was like, let's go. And he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, get on your hands and knees. And he was like, what are you doing? And he was so confused, and he got so scared. And then I realized that this guy thinks that I'm just like assaulting him, and I was terrified of getting like sued or something.
Oh. That's funny. One thing that Matt brought up too was playing a heel is kind of therapeutic in a way. I mean, what do you think about that? You can get out your aggression and and that kind of stuff.
It is. It absolutely is. Like when you're focused on the character work, yes, sir. You can really, you kind of get rid of that little voice in your head that says, "Don't do this." Sometimes when I'm a face, I'll go to do a move and I'll be like, "No, that's a heel move. Don't do it."
Yeah.
There it's just basically, as long as y'all aren't cheering for me, I'm doing my job. And what's nice about it also is, from like an instructor point of view, a lot of times the heel's going to be the more experienced wrestler, so I can take charge of the match and steer it in the right direction.
Right. Yeah. The proactive part of like promos and stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. The whole thing. Yeah, absolutely. Because unfortunately, the face, he's at the heel's mercy. Like, I got to make myself look stupid, like, or else you're going to look stupid. So, what's nice about being a heel is, since we're dedicated to each other and everything, I'm really going to put myself out there to make you look good, instead of hoping you look good for me.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's more work as well.
Yes, sir, absolutely. But Matt, I prefer the heel thing just from a control point of view. I get kind of not controlling, but like when I have a really good idea of how I want things to go, like if it doesn't go that way, I'll lose my damn mind sometimes.
So you're kind of, in a way, you're kind of being prideful, and you want your work to shine.
Yeah, I hate admitting that. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's totally. So people don't know too as well. You do a lot of coaching at the Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling Academy, and how many nights a week do you coach?
Right now I'm just down to one.
That one.
Just solely personal schedules. Just stuff just doesn't line up. I have a busy personal life. So now it's just one, but also the reason that I'm able to do that is because Scorpio and Alex Anthony are there every day. So at this point, it doesn't matter that I'm there or not. Like, it helps that I'm there, but if I'm not there, like, it's not going to go downhill or anything either.
Yeah, right. That's true.
Whereas before it was like, we didn't have those two guys, and Matt's always busy doing a million things, and Austin Reddick's working on the show, and we had Anaya there, but he wasn't there every night, so I was a bit more like dependent on. But now I'm like just like a good old standby for support.
What? So and when it comes to the coaching, what do you like to focus on, or what do you like to instill in who you're helping out and instructing?
Speed and footwork.
Okay.
Our sessions go about 3 hours long, and I could drill speed and footwork the whole time. I don't like working on moves too much unless we're doing basics that anybody can do. But Yaden taught me footwork. That's one thing that he's really known for. So I drill that into people's heads. I don't like getting fancy during training. I get all pissy pants when people do it, and I start yelling. And it's just, because especially like from wrestler to wrestler, and then also the longer fans watch, you'll start to pick up on it. If your footwork's bad, man, you look like an idiot. You look like a moron. You're shuffling all over the place. You're tripping on yourself. You're making the other guy look bad, or one of you is moving too fast. So I like to really learn to just like slow things down, move properly.
Right. Yeah. So would you say that footwork kind of is the lead into most of the move sets?
Yes, sir. Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So that's why it's so important to you?
Yes, sir. Oh, man, you nailed it. I'm going to steal that one from you. I won't name him, but a good friend of mine went to the performance center for a couple of days to, try out. And he said he didn't even have a match. They just made him do footwork drills and all this stuff. And then he came back up to us and passed it on.
Oh.
So that was one of Yaden had already taught me about the footwork, but he really let me know that, like, that's what they're looking for out of the independent guys. Because, you know, it's different between picking up somebody like, I don't know, like Braun Strowman was he's like a weightlifter or a strongman guy.
Yeah.
So whatever, we can teach him how to wrestle. He doesn't even need to do that much stuff anyway. But guys like me, I'm 190 pounds, so I better be a hell of a wrestler if they're even look at me.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, and I would concur, because I don't know if a lot of people know this, but in high school I did a lot of I majored or lettered all 4 years in high school in tennis.
Oh, that's awesome.
And when I try to teach people tennis, I'm the same thing. It's because that was instilled by my coach. Is footwork. If your feet are not in the right place when it comes to playing tennis, you are not going to hit the ball where you want to hit it.
I actually didn't know that about you. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So I took fourth in state 1 year. So
holy shit,
that's not bad. And
tennis is hard.
In number 2 singles. So yeah. So yeah,
that's awesome.
That's when I try to teach people I try to tell them that too, because I was like, okay, so for example, like, if your feet are here and you're not addressing the ball because your feet are, you're trying to adjust the ball and your feet are here, where's the ball going to go? And that kind of stuff,
Yes, sir.
So yeah, it's very, very, very important. And it's a lot of running too in tennis too. So
yeah, that's gnarly, man. I didn't know that. Tennis is, that's something I never, ever got. I like to think that I'm not a quitter, but damn, man, I tried for like 3 days once and I was like, no, I don't think I can do this. Yeah. I give up.
So now you mentioned with Too Cold Scorpio and Alex Anthony being there coaching, have you learned anything from them?
Yeah, man. Holy crap. Oh my goodness, yeah. Every day, every single day. From Alex Anthony, he's the definition of, so this guy's been wrestling like 15 years, right?
Yeah.
And he is the definition of just a team player. You call something in the ring, the dude says, sir, in the ring. I'll go to whip him off, take the clothesline. Yes, sir. Like, I've been wrestling for, oh my goodness, dude. Like, he's just, he's a guy that definitely, like, he's there to put on a good match. He's not there for himself. He doesn't need this. He's there for the match and the show. He's got a lot of good psychology behind him. Sometimes I'll say something and he'll be like, okay, well, think about this. And then he'll say it back to me and I'll be like, damn, you shut my ass down. Like, in the nicest possible way, though. He's the nicest guy in the world. And Scorpio, man, he, working with him is crazy. So many things have changed already. My strikes have changed. The weight that my strikes carry have changed. Scorpio is literally the safest guy on the planet, which is ironic because I had him pegged in my head as this like blood drinking psychopath.
Right.
The fact that I'm still sitting here today without like bandages all over my face shows that he's a safe worker. And he really has helped me with my confidence. I've leveled up since they've been here. Nothing negative, just only positive stuff. He's taught me to believe in myself more, to slow down, just to listen. I don't know. The guy feels like a grandfather figure to me or something,
Right. Yeah.
It's awesome.
And I've heard I've talked to quite a few of the RMP talent, and a lot of people have said actually what you just said is a lot of people have he's instilled of how working with strikes. They feel like their strikes are different. They're better. They're just they make more sense to them, and all this and the whole thing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
because it's cool. It's cool seeing it because whenever we get outside talent coming in, everybody respects them. Dude, it's so much fun to watch. Everybody, I don't care who you are, like they just, Scorpio can come up and say, do this, and they're going to be like, yes, sir. Like the guys, it's just, he's royalty. We're just walking around royalty backstage all the time. And even on the shows he's not on, he comes and sits down. We have a TV in the back. He sits there. When somebody comes back, he pulls you aside and said, "Hey, man, this looked great. This stuff was great. This one thing looked like shit, though. So you got to work on that."
That's awesome. And so, what did it feel like working with him in this storyline?
I was telling him last night I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss working with both of them.
Yeah.
It's nice to be as guided as I was, because usually it's a bit of the other way around. And sometimes like that's really nice. Like it's really nice. It's like driving all night, and then the person sleeping in the back seat finally wakes up, and somebody just takes over for a bit, and you get to take a rest. Because all the matches, I don't put any input in there at all. He already knows what position I need to be in, and he tells me literally what's best for me. That's pretty cool. Like, I have to put no thought into these matches, and they're some of the best matches I've had recently.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, I'm gonna miss it. My quality's gonna go downhill now that I'm not working with.
Oh no. Yeah. Well, I've sitting on this side of the ropes, I've definitely enjoyed this storyline with the tag dudes versus the Black Necks. It's been great, and I'm gonna miss it too. But
thank you.
But we don't know what else is gonna go on down in the future. So I would say everybody stay tuned. See what RMP has in store for coming up. So you never know.
No, that's good advice. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, Austin Reddick puts together some weird stuff, man.
Yeah.
For all I know, I'm going to be wrestling Marlon Bishop for the title next week. So, yeah, I have no clue where it's going.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Okay. So, what about we're going to do a kind of a little change of gears a little bit. So, outside of the wrestling business, you are a massage therapist. And so what was your philosophy and why you got into that business?
Oh boy. I'll keep it short. I in a whole nother life in my 20s, I was married, and my wife took a job in Mississippi. And I was going to go down with her, but my mom had cancer. So I stayed behind with my parents. I didn't stay with them. I stayed, close to them.
Right. Okay.
And then my wife just kind of, I'm trying to say nice stuff. We ended up not talking very much, and it made me go crazy. I went actually crazy, like crying all day, I just went nuts. And I ended up getting a massage just to try to relax, because apparently that's supposed to help you. I thought it was weird. I don't want this person rubbing my back. And then when I left the building, I felt so good. And I had this human contact that made me feel good. At the time, my mom was in remission with her cancer. So I Googled best schools in the country to go to school for massage therapy, and one of them was here in Westminster, Colorado. So I packed up all my shit and threw my dogs in the car. 3 weeks later, got rid of everything I owned and came out here from Pennsylvania. Went to school, and by the time school was over, my mom was dead, and the divorce was final. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm just here, and I never left. And it's I love it. I love massage, not as much as pro wrestling, but I love it very much. I like making people feel good.
Oh.
I like it a lot, and it helps me to connect to tons of people I never would meet. Some of the highlights of my week are seeing these clients that, I haven't seen you for a month. I'm excited to hear about your life. Let's catch up. And some of them have no clue I do this. And then, out of nowhere, they'll find out.
What's that like?
Yeah, I've been rubbing your back for 5 years. By the way, on the weekends, I put spandex on and fight
people. What's been kind of the interesting conversations you've had when the people that have found out?
Dude, it's so weird. There's three ways. The first way, which is the way I like, is, they want to know everything about it. Because I could talk about wrestling all day. That's why you and I are doing this right now.
Yeah.
The second way is they could not care less. I'm pretty sure they think I'm lying.
Oh, no.
And then the third is they immediately want to know if wrestling's fake. Immediately.
That's the tough one, I bet. What do you say, right?
It is. I came up with a little analogy that I give them.
Okay.
Picture a clipboard. Now hold the clipboard 6 feet in the air. And now just drop it on the ground. And it's going to bounce all over the place. It's going to be loud, and violent. And that's a real punch. That's a real punch. That's what a real punch looks like. Now, pick up the clipboard again from the same height, but make sure that it lands flat. And that's pro wrestling.
Okay.
And then, I lead into a bunch of other stuff, but I let them know, everything's still real. We're just making sure we don't fucking kill the other person.
Right. Yeah, it is. I mean, it is. Yeah, it is. It is 2019's, and the educated people know that. Do know that it is you're working with a partner, or a team that you guys are, coordinating everything, breaking the fourth wall. So, but yeah, I mean, that's good. That's a good analogy. I like that.
What about on your end? Is it hard to ask questions without feeling like you're insulting a wrestler? Because you've been doing this for how many years now?
It's amazingly enough you ask, because I was looking through my Facebook memories, and overall podcasting, I think I'm going on my third year now.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
nice, man, and it's been pretty consistent too. So props.
Yeah, and I launched this individual one, Wrestling with Altitude, and then I I guess some people like me enough that I took over the RMP Radio from Austin Reddick. He gave me my blessing.
Everybody, I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, but everybody in the locker room area loves you. There has never been a bad word said about you.
Right, and
Rocky Mountain Pro. So yeah,
thank you.
Absolutely. Sorry, keep going. I had to get that out.
Oh no, so and it's been fun, and the best thing I like about this is that I get to hear all these great stories and everything like that, and then when I ask for interviews and such, people are like, yeah, when do you want to do it? Tell me the time's best for you, and we'll see if we can coordinate schedules and et cetera, and all that good stuff like that. So yeah, and it's been fun. It's allowing me to also get a lot of enjoyment out of my love for professional wrestling as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's one thing I love about doing this as well. And the biggest thing too is like you just said, the consistency. Once you make whatever they say the saying is about, if you do something so many times, it becomes a habit, and then it becomes not so hard to do, and not like, oh, I gotta go do this or whatever. But so it's just like, yeah, just make it happen and stay consistent, and in this case, stay consistent, build the audience, have fun, and everything else is gravy, as like they say.
You nailed it, man. You said something that reminded me of I remember before I became a wrestler, after I didn't watch wrestling for like 15 years, and I got back into it just a couple of years ago. And I remember I was like, I want to do something. I'm not a wrestler, but I want to do something, anything. I don't know. So I actually ran a couple of Facebook pages. We had I ran a WCW page. We had 84,000 followers.
Whoa.
And dude, what's even fun? This is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
One of the followers that always interacted with me was this guy. And I always thought it was cool because he had a Denver Broncos logo as his avatar on Facebook.
Yeah.
And he always interacted with our shit. And it was Dustin fucking Urich.
Oh, really?
I was like, how weird is that?
And were you running that page when you were here, or?
Oh no,
when you
that
were
was
still in...
way before I became a wrestler.
Okay, so that was back in Pennsylvania.
Oh no, I lived in Colorado for quite a few years before I became a wrestler.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I was just getting back into wrestling. I was pretty much exclusively just watching Lucha Underground, because I will fucking tell you, bud, getting into wrestling when you haven't been a fan for so long is the most disorienting thing that's ever happened. Who's this? Who's that? Why should I care about this? And it's totally my fault. Like, it's not the program's fault, but you just have to recondition yourself. So that's why I ran those WCW pages, just to like get back into it and like interact with people. And Dustin was like one of our top fans. It was crazy.
Oh. And so how was that when you found out that it was him? And did you guys and then when you guys met for the first time or whatever, did in the wrestling business? I mean, what was that all like? What was that all like? How'd that go?
I didn't piece it together for like 6 months, because when you start wrestling, you're so timid, you're scared of everybody. You can't remember anybody's name. And I remember I pulled him aside one day and I was like, do you like the page WCW Unlimited or whatever the hell the name was? I didn't name it. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, so I posted under the name Denver on there. And he was like, holy shit. And I was like, yeah, that was you, right? And he was like, yeah, man. It's like weird, because I always I would post memes. I used to make memes of like just making fun of stuff how I remember it. I remember Dean Malenko as being this guy that like I thought was the most uninteresting person in the world, and then when you grow up, you realize he's fucking awesome.
Right.
So I would make fun of stuff like that, and people got a kick out of it. But anyway, I was just going back to what you said, where like, yeah, when you're a fan, you don't want to just, I don't want to be a fan. I want to do something else. Like, I don't want to be looked at as a fan or whatever. Like, I want to contribute. And if you're not going to get hit with a chair or be a ref or be a cameraman, so like, what else can you do? Right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah. That you're welcome. That I really appreciate that. Then I'm going to take a step back for a second in our conversation a little bit. So you were here in Colorado for a little bit before you got into taking that step into the ring. What was the I know we probably talked about that on the What's on Fite podcast a while ago, but what was it that like really triggered you to get in that, to let all the listeners know of to get you into that ring?
Dude, okay, so yeah, I'll try to keep this as like sterile as possible, because I love all these guys I'm about to talk about, but I decided I wanted to be a part of pro wrestling somehow. I was bartending at a Ruby Tuesday, and this guy came in, and it was the day the Ultimate Warrior died.
Oh.
And I was talking about it. I was just throwing it out, seeing if anybody was biting. When you're a bartender, you just say stuff.
Right.
And this one guy, he said he used to call himself Johnny Starr. I don't know if you recognize that name, but he said he used to wrestle with this company called Primos in Denver. And I was like, is there wrestling in Denver? And he was like, oh, yeah. So he had me look up Joe McDougal on Facebook. Boom. Friend request sent. The first professional wrestler I was ever friends with is Primos owner Joe McDougal.
Yeah.
And I went and saw a show, and it was the most surreal thing I'd ever seen in my life. I've never seen a wrestling ring. And you never forget the first time you see a wrestling ring. You're like, there it is!
Right, yeah.
So I pulled Joe aside, and I was like, hey, man, I'm a massage therapist. Can I, like, work on your guys, like, before their matches? And he was like, well, fuck yeah. And I was like, sweet. So I got one of my other friends, and we worked a Primo's show backstage as massage therapists. This is the first thing I ever did.
Oh, wow.
And I was working on some of the dudes, and I was like, I'm fucking bigger than some of these guys. And I was running the WCW page and watching Lucha Underground and watching old stuff like DVDs. I couldn't stop. So I asked Joe if he would train me, and I went to the butcher shop to try out, and there was some problems there that day, so I couldn't. And then he actually didn't get back to me for a little bit. So I went to Extreme Gym, located in Littleton. And I was like, I want to be a wrestler. And they were like, okay, well, our head coach, Sam Udell, is here. And Sam Udell, fucking Duff Doyle, Royce Isaacs, and Hunter Gray trained me for one day at Extreme Gym 24/7. And ironically, they didn't have a ring. And they were like, yeah, we had a falling out with the company that was here, but we'll have a new ring in a couple weeks. And I thought the money was just too much or whatever. So I didn't really reconnect with them. So I'm sitting at a bar across the street from my house, and this girl I was sleeping with at the time came in. All the bartenders used to go over there after work to get drunk. And she slammed down a fucking flyer. And I recognized the flyer. I'm looking at it right now. I have it hung on my wall in my bedroom. Al fucking Snow and Chavo Guerrero on it. Along with Matt Yaden, Steven Ashburn, Anaya, Danger Dean, Hoodie, Angie Vincent, Tyler Stinson. And it's for Milestone 5.
Yeah.
And I called him and I was like, hey, do you train wrestlers? And Matt picked up. I'll never forget the first time I heard Matt Yaden's voice. Hello? And I was like, hey, I'd like to inquire about your school. And it was the day before Milestone. And if anybody knows Matt Yaden, he is a absolute nervous shit show the day before Milestone. And he was like, well, can you just come down here and check it out now? I'm kind of busy. And I was like, yeah. So I went down and I saw XJ Chaos going over his match with Cormac Battle. And the ring was there. And it was at the Grudge Training Center, and I thought it was the coolest fucking thing I'd ever seen in my life. And Yaden and Hoodie sat me down and talked to me, and I signed up that day. And I have not taken a fucking break ever since. And I'm getting incredibly bitter about it. That's 4 fucking years ago.
And hence the heel turn.
Right? Sorry, that went on a little longer than it should have.
No, it's fine. We got an unlimited time here on RMP Radio. It's not timed at all. Yeah. So yeah, a little bit of that story I knew, but no, I get every time like I said, when some of these conversations get to get a little bit more information and make the story even more grandiose than it actually is.
Right? Yeah. I just I appreciate that I hit every cornerstone of pro wrestling. And
yeah, you have. Yeah.
And I found this one last. And it ended up being the one that just suit me the best. I love Joe. I think Joe's fantastic. Oh my fuck. We were extras at Raw 2 weeks ago. There's a bunch of us there, and I'm standing next to Joe McDougal, who's like the nicest guy in the world. Tyson Fury walked by us, and I turned and looked at Joe. And he was like, dude, somebody's about to get punched in the fucking face, and I bet it's going to be one of us later. I was like, I was begging to get punched in the face by Tyson Fury, but it didn't happen. But it makes me happy that as far as I know, I'm in good standings with everybody in Colorado.
Yeah.
I strive to not say anything negative anymore. The first year I absolutely did, because I heard other people saying it. So you just kind of, go along with what you hear.
Right. Yeah.
And
that's
then
what you're supposed to do.
Absolutely. I never said anything bad about Joe, though, because he was always really nice to me. But no, I just want to get along with everybody. I just heard Colorado United 3 was announced.
Yeah. Which
I don't care if I have to ring the fucking bell on that show. I will be on it. I deviated heavily. I'm sorry, bud.
No. It's totally cool. So I heard that there was really when it came to the extras, there was really nobody got used. They just didn't have storylines or the backstage segments for WWE when Raw was in town for the draft, because they had that going on too. So is that right? Yeah, not kind of hoping, but not a lot going on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was hoping too. You on the drive to the Pepsi Center, you start going through everything that is happening. Oh, well, this guy's eating up jobbers. Maybe they'll pick me for that, or maybe we'll be. Last week Tyson Fury punched a bunch of security guards in the face. I hope that's me this week.
Yeah.
But no, dude, they checked us. They cleared us for when you get there, you have to get cleared by their physician.
Right.
And then they were like, okay, guys, just hang out. And if we need you, we'll find you. And literally that's the most contact we had from any of them there. I mean, Matt Yaden talked to Jeff Jarrett for like a fucking hour because they're friends, but and that is literally it. So the superstars are nice enough to you,
right?
But yeah, we just sat around and ate catering and got fat. I think I gained 8 pounds that day.
So, any flashbacks of Braun Strowman versus the Mile High Trio?
Yeah, it's funny.
Did you run into Braun?
Yeah, he walked by us, and everybody looked at me and laughed. Kind of like how like the girl you like in school
I just did.
is walking by, and all your friends look at you like, "Ooh, there she is."
Yeah.
He didn't talk to us. Everybody backstage that day was incredibly busy and focused.
Yeah.
The whole time, actually, we were trying to kind of figure out what was going on. Because, everybody's back and forth. Like, they didn't even set up the viewing area, which they do every show. Like, they set up a bunch of chairs, plug in the TV. If you don't have a match, fuck you, sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
And this time, we literally sat around on a bunch of, like, production cases and sat in catering. But it was nice to be a part of it. It's always surreal. The time before it, I just danced in a conga line, and that's it. Between Raw and SmackDown, it was 20 hours of standing around doing nothing, and I got to dance in a conga line for 4 minutes, and that's it. But you're just thankful.
Yeah.
Because at the heart of it all, like, we're all fans. That's why we're doing it.
Yeah.
So it's cool to, I watched Becky Lynch eat some Doritos backstage. Did you know that Becky Lynch likes Cool Ranch Doritos, Mr. Fourth Row?
I did not, but I guess I do now, and so do all the listeners.
She does. That's the insider information that you're not going to get anywhere else.
Except for here on RMP Radio. That's cool. And, and I went to the show, and, speaking of Becky Lynch, I just love the way that she says Denver. With that, Scottish accent.
That accent is crazy. I can't mimic that accent at all.
I can't either, yeah. But it's the best I can do. But I think she said, in wanting to kick Charlotte's ass all over Colorado, and the way she said that too, with that accent, it was like, oh, my heart kind of swooned a little bit.
Oh my goodness, dude! It's the most attractive accent on the planet. I mean, not just because it's Becky Lynch. I mean, she's a pretty girl, but I mean, just like the accent in general, like Scottish accents. I don't know why they're attractive to me.
Definitely, yeah. So I was gonna step back just a little bit. So you just got in the massage therapy just because you got the massage and felt good, and then what kind of doing your training, what kind of stuff did you find out that you weren't expecting in the process of training to become certified and licensed and such?
Oh man, I'm getting flashbacks now. I'm getting like Vietnam flashbacks in massage school. I'm the worst student of all time in anything. I think I struggled with the muscles, like the names and everything, and now I'm like an expert at it. I think the stuff's great. I have an anatomy chart hung up in my room. The hardest thing that I had was accepting, yeah, man, okay, this is real too, so I hope I don't offend anybody. The hardest thing that I had to accept in the world of massage therapy is that y'all believe in some stuff that I don't. and I need to cater to it because I'm putting myself out there like that. Have you ever seen a fucking reflexology chart?
I have, but I mean, I've seen it. I wouldn't know it, know the whole thing, but.
So listeners at home, a reflexology is it's like foot massage, but it's an Eastern type of foot massage where you can manipulate the organs of the human body by pushing on specific points of the foot.
Right. Yes, I know this.
So
yeah.
When you get somebody coming in and they're like, I want to open up my lungs. So I want you to work my intercostal muscles, like my ribs, work my back and my pecs. And then I want you to really hit my lungs on my feet. And it takes everything you have to be like, I'll do all that other shit. But we're wasting time on your feet. But some people genuinely believe in it. And I believe that placebos are very good for human beings. They help people through a lot of stuff. But there's just some things, I can't buy into. But I have to go along with. So, massage therapy school, you study things like Reiki and acupressure and the manipulation of muscles and organs by very light touch. Whereas I would rather say, oh, is your back hurt? Do you want me to fucking push on it? Dude, I worked on Sledge for 20 minutes before Oktoberfest, Shocktober. And he came back at the end of it and he shook my hand and he was like, I don't know if I could have did that match without what you did, man. Thank you.
Oh.
And it was cool because he and I didn't really talk much. And he was like very humble and very nice when he did not need to be, but he was. And I was like, that's awesome. See, that's the shit I like about massage.
Yeah.
I can move my leg. Not like, oh, okay, well, my orange chakra is a little off. If you could balance out my violet and orange and lime green fucking Skittle rainbow chakra, then okay, cool, whatever. I'll rub your back.
So you're basically, you're more of like, tell me what it's kind of hurting you, and let's see what we figure out when it comes to the actual anatomy and muscle structure and etc.
A lot of my clients come to me because of my understanding of anatomy and structure. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And they come to me because I will never, ever fucking lie to them.
Yeah.
Some of them are like, why does this hurt? And I'm like, I don't know. What did you do? I don't fucking know. But people appreciate that stuff, though. I think, especially nowadays, everybody's crazy and out of their minds.
Yeah.
So if two people can have a conversation where they just get along, I think they're just happy with that.
Right. Yeah. So true. Well, that's awesome. All right. Well, Curtis, I think we should maybe wrap it up right there. But before I do let you go, people wanted to follow up with you on social media and check you out. What do you got, say, coming up in the future when it comes to the world of professional wrestling and that kind of stuff?
I just got over a hand injury, so right now I'm trying to hit the gym again. I got to get bigger. I look like a soccer player. Right now, main focus is Rocky Mountain Pro. Yaden and I have some plans for 2020 as a tag team outside of Colorado, but he'll shoot me if I talk about it.
Okay.
So
we'll just tease it there.
Absolutely. So right now our priority is the TV show still and running the school. A couple days ago, Yaden said, sometimes I forget we focus so much on the show that I forget that I started in this so I could train people.
Ah, right.
So that's where we're finishing 2019 strong in Colorado, and then 2020 I'm going to go hopefully as many places as possible. I think it's about time.
All right. Okay. What about social media?
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So at Killer Kurt with C-U-R-T at Killer Kurt Cole on everything. If you type it in, That's me.
Okay. Awesome.
But no, I thank you for having me back. It's always nice to talk to you. And every time I see it shows, I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off.
Yeah.
So it's I always forget how much I really fucking enjoy talking to you when we actually have a second to just do it. So thank you very much for having me back.
You're welcome. It's great. All right. Well, yeah. Well, thank you for coming on, and of course, everybody, all listeners, keep following up with Curtis Cole and Rocky Mountain Pro and everything like that. And of course, I will be seeing you probably in a few days.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks.
Adios.
Okay. Once again, a big thank you to Curtis Cole for coming on to RMP Radio this time around and talking a little bit of comic books and massage therapy and philosophy of heels and faces and everything in between. It was such a fun conversation. So let's talk a little bit about Rocky Mountain Pro. Of course, we just had Shocktober. And if you were in attendance or not in attendance and did not catch it on Fite TV, go right now, pause this episode of RMP Radio and order the replay. Lifetime replays. I mean, you can't beat that for $9.99. I mean, I did it. I want you guys all to do it as well. No pressure. But let's talk about what else we got going on with Rocky Mountain Pro this upcoming week. But before we get there, let's pay some bills like they used to say back in the day. If you want to get some of your favorite merchandise from your Rocky Mountain Pro talent, it's simple as going over to rmpwrestling.com, click on the merchandise link, and you've got all kinds of great choices there. In honor of Curtis Cole being on this episode, why don't you pick yourself up a Tag Dudes shirt? So that would be great there. Okay, so upcoming events this week, as October is coming to a close, all we've got is the Charged on Halloween. So I hope to see some of you there. In person, in costume. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I mean, it's all fun, right? And then November, of course, Charged is coming up as well for Rocky Mountain Pro. Got 4 shows. Get your tickets at rmpwrestling.com, and you can purchase your tickets or you can get yourself a monthly pass. Always great fun. Want to watch Rocky Mountain Pro? You can on, of course, like the previously mentioned, Fite TV on twitch.tv/Rocky Mountain Pro. You can catch matches and clips and everything on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Rocky Mountain Pro. You can also catch Rocky Mountain Pro show on impactplus.tv. If you have a subscription there, you can check out all of the shows as well. Want to follow us? Everything stems from the website at rmpwrestling.com, and Facebook, Twitter, Instagram all have the name The Rocky MTN Pro, and that's The Rocky Mike Tango November Pro. So I want to thank you all for listening to this episode of RMP Radio, where pro wrestling is elevated.